And we might be live. Just maybe. Huh? How are we all doing today, everybody? Oh my god, it's time for another stream. It's time for more Hannahcast movie news. My god. Woo. Man, how are we all doing today before we get on with the stream a little bit more? Just also making sure we got things going along pretty smoothly. Hello, Elizabeth Tennyson. Hello. Hello, Eglantine. Hello. The champ is here. Hope you can get some members today, pal. That's right. That's right. Thank you for reminding me. And in case you don't know, you know, if you like, we have memberships open. You know, if you want to become a member of the Hannahcast channel, it's just $2 a month. You get members only badges, emojis, members only videos and shorts. Members shout out to the end of my stream, at the end of my videos, early access to Oscar predictions videos, and other stuff like that. And also members only live chats as well. So that's a lot of fun. So yeah, and usually the members only live streams are a lot more chill. It's more just chatting about things. So yeah, right now we have like 25 members, and you know, if you want to become a member or gift any memberships, you could do so. So yeah. Oops. But regardless, once again, we have a lot of stuff to talk about, mainly in the realm of DC, of the DC news. So yeah, I think we might as well get started on that. Yeah, like James Gunn went on to the, oh, hold on. What is this? Is it possible Sinners doesn't get any acting nominations? It's possible. Here's the thing. I think if it's winning Best Picture, it's going to get at least one acting nomination. That's the thing. I don't feel like it's going to win Best Picture without any acting nominations. That just does not happen. Like, I mean, yeah, like, sure, Parasite did that, but it's also like, there weren't any, like, big names that you could nominate for any of the acting awards. So there's that. Gunn might have done his most in-detail and exclusive interview about DC Studios' future on the Josh Horowitz show. And yeah, that is true. We're going to be talking about some of the stuff that he mentioned. Do you want Robert Pattinson as the DCU Batman? Well, we will get to that here in a bit, but in short, no. But I'll explain later on. Only 12 films have won Best Picture with no acting nominations. Yep, that is true. That is true. But yeah, everybody. Yeah, like I said, yeah, James Gunn was on the Josh Horowitz show, which is like a podcast, and James Gunn gave a lot of updates for what's going on over at DC. So we might as well, you know, check them out. One of which is basically he explained the whole fallout between, you know, with like DC and not James Gunn, but like the whole thing about Henry Cavill and how he was basically used as a pawn. And it's really sad, look, because if you don't know, again, after Justice League came out, Warner Brothers just did nothing with Superman. They did absolutely jack nothing with Henry Cavill's Superman. And then, you know, as Black Adam was getting ready to come out, they started teasing some stuff. And it's like, what's going to happen? Huh? What's happening? And they kept going. And then, you know, like, it started, you know, Dwayne Johnson started to tease the, you know, the fans a bit, you know, by saying, you know, by saying Black Adam is the most powerful being on this planet. Really kind of hinting at, like, someone might appear. And then ultimately, at the end credit scene, like the mid-credit scene of Black Adam, it's revealed, yep, Henry Cavill as Superman is back. And he's like, Black Adam, we need to talk. And look, I'll even admit, like, when I saw this in the theater, I'm like, yeah, let's go. Like, Dwayne Johnson versus Superman. This is actually a pretty cool, like, this is a pretty fun idea. But then, a few days later, James Gunn was announced as the co-CEO of DC Studios along with Peter Safran. And ultimately, they had to break it to Dwayne Johnson, like, hey, we're gonna go the new direction with Superman. And it's such a weird time, because, like, we first had, you know, Henry Cavill as Superman, then he just disappears, and it's just like, what are they doing with Superman? And it's weird, because it's like, you can't really have I do believe you can't really have a fully functioning DC universe, or an interconnected DC universe, without utilizing Superman. Like, that's just weird to me. And then he's back, but then he isn't. And it's such a mess. And basically what James Gunn said was that he said the day his deal closed to be co-CEO of DC Studios, Warner Brothers Pictures announced Henry Cavill returning as Superman without Gunn's knowledge, even with him planning his Superman movie. Because that's the thing. James Gunn was already planning a Superman movie, like a completely different Superman movie, without Henry Cavill, like a younger, Superman. And ultimately, the presidents of Warner Brothers Pictures at the time just kind of went behind everyone, like, just kind of went behind James Gunn's back, and just announced, hey, Henry, like, hey, they basically allowed, Dwayne Johnson to put Black Adam in the movie. And even when you hear how Dwayne Johnson describes it, it's like, before the whole Warner Brothers Discovery merger, they would not let Dwayne Johnson put Superman in the movie. Which, again, in those circumstances, it's like, I get where he was coming from, and it's like, well, I want to have Superman in this film, because again, but then he got the okay to put Superman in the movie before, after the merger happened, and the current presidents of Warner Brothers Pictures were made the presidents of Warner Brothers Pictures, and it's just a mess. And James Gunn also expressed how sorry he felt for Henry Cavill, because he didn't Cavill didn't ask to be dragged into this mess. He was just excited to come back as Superman, and he said that when he brought in Henry Cavill and had the discussion with him, it's like, hey, we're gonna reboot the DC universe, we're gonna do something new. James Gunn was also was also talking about how he and Henry Cavill are saying, hey, we want to put you in the DC universe somewhere. I would love to, and James Gunn was even, and that's the thing, James Gunn was saying, if we found the right role for Henry Cavill, of course he could be in the DC universe. And I think that's real. And again, I feel like this just shows more of the disconnect between the rabid, Zack Snyder fans and the reality of things. Because the reality, the Zack Snyder stands are always we want the Snyderverse, we restore the Snyderverse, we gotta destroy James Gunn's Superman. Even though literally everything about, the people involved in the Snyderverse are go at it. Fucking Henry Cavill, is on good terms with James Gunn, and again, James Gunn wants to put Henry Cavill in the DC universe. Zack Snyder is on good terms with James Gunn, and hell, they even did a cameo on Rick and Morty together, where they were poking fun at each other. And then you also have Jason Momoa, who's returning to DC next year as Lobo in Supergirl. So it's again, the disconnect between the fans and the actual people involved is just kind of funny, because it's the fans are trying to stoke these flames, even though the actual creatives and actors involved it couldn't be any further from the truth. So it's just it's just an unfortunate set of circumstances for Henry Cavill. I really do feel bad for the guy, because the dude really liked Superman. He really liked playing Superman. And again, I don't blame James Gunn for rebooting DC either, because I feel that's what needed to happen. People lost interest in the DCEU. So yeah, it needed to be rebooted. But again, the fact that Henry Cavill just used as this like pawn throughout, you know, the whole thing with Black Adam and the executives over at Warner Brothers, which also it also just makes me really happy that like DC, because in case anybody doesn't know, DC Studios is a separate studio from Warner Brothers now. Like for the longest time, the DC films were under Warner Brothers Pictures. But now that's not the case anymore. It's sort of like how Marvel is technically under the Walt Disney Company, the Walt Disney, film and the Disney Film Division, but Marvel is a separate entity from Walt Disney Studios, if that makes sense. Like that's why you don't see the Disney logo before the Marvel logo. That's how it is at DC now. Like you don't see the Warner Brothers logo before DC, like before Superman, because it's not a Warner Brothers Pictures film, which again I really do like. I really do like that DC Studios is operating as its own thing. But yeah, I just feel bad for the guy. I really feel bad for Henry Cavill. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. If they wanted to bring back Henry Cavill as Batman, I mean, I don't think they would. I mean, then again, I don't know. I guess it depends on like what version of Batman they're going for. But I mean, like, they could. I mean, Henry Cavill did audition for Batman Begins and was pretty damn close to getting the role. So maybe that would be kind of cool. Let's see. Yeah, Gunn said he'd love to have Henry Cavill in the DCU. Captain Atom is the first thing that came to my mind, or perhaps a villain. Yeah, perhaps. Again, it depends on like what version of the characters they're writing, but yeah. Yeah, Gunn is open to Snyder's cast, and Jason Momoa is going to be in Supergirl. Exactly. Do you think it's possible that KPop Demon Hunters gets an Oscar nomination for animated feature? Don't worry, we will get to that here in a bit. Don't worry about that. Hello, Troels. Sergeant Rock. Hey, Kristen. Hello, ZJ13 Goat. Who's ready for Peacemaker Season 2? I am really excited for Peacemaker Season 2. I love Peacemaker. I mean, Peacemaker was already like one of my favorite characters in the Suicide Squad. But yeah, I thought he was just like I thought he was funny, like John Cena as Peacemaker, and the show was absolutely excellent. Troels. Okay, Troels. Yeah, I think that's how I pronounce it. But yeah. And like I said, guys, if anyone... Oh, man, we got like 11 viewers. Hello, viewers. Again, if anyone wants to gift any memberships or support me on Ko-Fi, which is probably the more immediate thing that I could use right now, or you want to gift memberships or anything like that, or Super Chat, anything like that, it could be a lot of fun. What DCU project are you the most excited for? Out of the ones announced, I mean, I was the most excited for Superman, but like out of the ones we got left, what do I do? Admittedly, I am very curious as to how Wonder Woman's going to be, but again, we'll talk about Wonder Woman here in a bit. Clayface is especially intriguing, considering considering it's a body horror film. So we'll see. Supergirl. All right. Yeah. Oh yes. Yeah. I'm very excited for Supergirl as well, especially since it's going to have a much more different approach. Also, one thing I also do want to bring up that it's not said here, but it was said on the podcast regarding Henry Cavill and James Gunn. Apparently, the one thing Henry Cavill asked of James Gunn when they had the meeting, like, hey, we're gonna go a different direction with Superman in the DC universe. Henry Cavill was the one. Apparently, Henry Cavill said to him, the one thing I want is I want to be the one to announce it first. I want to be the first one to announce, hey, I'm not going to be Superman anymore. Like, he wanted to break it to the fans. Which I think, like, and James Gunn said, oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah, you can do that. And it's like, again, I just really feel bad for the guy. Like, he just got dicked around by Warner Brothers so badly. Like, so badly. He's Superman, then Warner Brothers does nothing with him, then he's Superman again, and then he's not Superman. And everyone's confused. Even I was confused. It's just a mess. This whole thing is a mess. I do feel bad for Cavill. Oh, yeah, yeah. What do you think of the Lanterns TV show? I'm really excited for Lanterns. I mean, I've always wanted to see Jon Stewart Green Lantern. I've always wanted to see him. And the fact that we're finally getting Jon Stewart after all these years, I'm really excited for that. I'm really excited to see, especially since, Guy Gardner's going to be in the show as well. Like, I really liked Guy Gardner in Superman. I thought he was really funny. And he was the standout character to me, so yeah. Henry Cavill is in The Grey and Enola Holmes 3. Ooh. It's funny how Black Adam's failure directly led to James Gunn's DCU. I mean, to be fair, it didn't directly lead up to it. I will, because again, James Gunn said that him being finalized as the co-CEO of DC Studios, that was finalized the day they announced that Henry Cavill was back as Superman. So it's like, and even I remember, even when, David Zaslav, took control of Warner Brothers Discovery, or became the CEO of this big company, he was talking about how he was gonna have a full-on leader of DC, and that DC would be its own entity. So it's like, and I think regardless, I think James Gunn was going to reboot the DC universe anyway. Because again, people were just tired of it. It's because it wasn't even just Black Adam. You got to remember, a lot of the last bona fide box office hit that that the DCEU had, was probably Aquaman. The first Shazam did okay, but it didn't do anywhere near as well. But again, you look at what happened afterwards. Birds of Prey, that flopped. And that was before COVID. The Suicide Squad flopped, which granted you have to put a bit of an asterisk there because it was day and date on HBO Max and it was COVID and there was a bunch of other factors. But still, even then, I still think a sequel to Suicide Squad was going to struggle at the box office regardless. And then you also had... I'm trying to think of what else that came out in the DCEU. I know there was Black Adam in 2022, but I don't know what else. And then obviously 2023 was that was the death sentence for everything in the DCEU, because that's when you had back to back flops with Shazam: Fury of the Gods. What was it? Oh yeah, The Flash, Blue Beetle, and people actually liked Blue Beetle, and yet that still flopped. And then Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. It's DC's dead. You gotta reboot it. And so yeah, I think it would have happened regardless of Black Adam's failure. Because even if Black Adam did well at the box office, I still think James Gunn would have probably still reset the DC universe, especially considering he was already writing a Superman movie that had a younger Superman in mind. So yeah. Which canceled DC project would you rather have seen? Batgirl or the Ben Affleck Batman movie? Ah, man, this is a Sophie's choice. This is a Sophie's choice, to be honest. Because, you know what? I will say Batgirl, because even though I would have been more excited to see a Ben Affleck Batman movie, more than the Batgirl movie, because again, the way, especially since they were teasing Batman and Deathstroke fighting, oh my god, that would have been so cool. But the thing is, that movie was just not finished. That movie never really got into filming, so it's less of a loss. Whereas Batgirl is somewhere in the the DC, somewhere in the in Warner Brothers Discovery. That file is that file is somewhere over there. And the fact that it was just written off for taxes, I think was just so disingenuous. Because you already made it, you might as well release it. And it's just yeah. And again, I would have been more excited for a Ben Affleck Batman movie, but again, the fact of the matter is that movie did not even begin filming. Whereas Batgirl was basically finished. I mean, I'm pretty sure there probably would have been some visual effects stuff going on and whatever. But I just think the whole practice of canceling a film that was like, and just writing it off for taxes, it set a bad precedent for Hollywood. It really did, because now movies are being treated as, like not just movies, but movies and TV shows are being treated as, you know, numbers on a spreadsheet that could just be like, oh yeah, we could just take that away from you now. We could just take that away. And like, I think that's where I would go with that. I feel like, yeah, I would rather we see Batgirl, because at least that was, because again, morally speaking, I feel like movies should not be, like movies or just art in general should not be completely erased. Guns and Lanterns as a Jon Stewart-centric story? Hell yeah. You saw Shazam 2 in the theater 3 times because you fell asleep? No! No, why would you see Shazam 2 3 times? No! In terms of critical audience reception and box office combined, Wonder Woman 2017 performed the best in all 3 categories. Yeah, that was the only DC film where, like, the critics loved it, the audiences loved it, and it was a box office smash hit. Yeah. Honestly, I would prefer the Batfleck movie. What's your top 4 movies? You can probably find out on my Letterboxd, actually. But yeah, that's basically my thoughts on this. Now let's get on to the next subject, which is, Luca Guadagnino is apparently not involved with Sergeant Rock anymore. Now, in case anyone doesn't know, Sergeant Rock was announced, and they said that this was going to be directed by Luca Guadagnino, and it was going to star Daniel Craig in the role, which is kind of weird because we're already seeing, Sergeant Rock here, because apparently he was in Creature Commandos, and he doesn't really look anything like Daniel Craig, but whatever. And yeah, I guess that apparently Sergeant Rock is still going to happen, but Luca Guadagnino is just not really, he's not involved in it anymore. Which again, I will admit, I'm not too torn up about that, because I'm not the biggest Guadagnino fan. His movies don't really please audiences that much. So I'm not, honestly, I think, I'm not too upset over that. But, yeah, what do you think? Honora is Christian's favorite movie. No, it isn't. I honestly lack interest in Sergeant Rock without Luca. I don't really think I even needed Luca Guadagnino. It's like kind of whatever for me. Who do you think would be a good director for Sergeant Rock instead of Guadagnino? Well, that's really tough because I don't know what direction they're going for. I mean, granted, Luca Guadagnino, for a character like Sergeant Rock, I would not think, oh yeah, Luca Guadagnino, that's a very obvious pick to direct the film. Not really. That's not really at all who I would have thought would be in the role. So it is very bizarre. And granted, I will say I don't know that much about Sergeant Rock. But obviously he's like a World War II soldier. So it's like, all right, like, again, I'm not really sure. But yeah, I just don't know. Like, if this is supposed to be like a war movie, I just don't know if Luca Guadagnino could do that. I honestly don't. Alex Garland would be a good pick for a Sergeant Rock movie. That would make sense, and if I'm not mistaken, Alex Garland is in the writer's room for DC Studios. Like, if you don't know, there's like a writer, apparently, from what I understand, there's a writer's room over at DC Studios from a bunch of like different filmmakers and comic writers and showrunners, and they're basically like putting out a bunch of ideas together. And among them, I think, is Alex... I don't know if it was Alex Garland or Drew Goddard. I think it was Drew Goddard who was, like, involved. But, yeah. We'll have to see. So random, but I would dig if they did a Justice Society film show at some point. Well, apparently one thing that James Gunn also said was that Dr. Fate is in the DC universe. Now, I'm pretty sure he's not going to be played by Pierce Brosnan anymore. I mean, I'm assuming not. But, like, he did say Dr. Fate is in this, so it's like, or like in the DC universe as a whole. So, yeah. Did you see Lost Tapes as a kid? Yes. I don't got money to see Superman in theaters. Hey, I understand that. I get that a lot. I get that very much. But yeah, I guess I'm not really too bummed out about this. I mean, it's just like, I just don't know if you know, Luca Guadagnino is like the kind of guy to direct Sergeant Rock. Did you say that Ryan Coogler met with James Gunn, and if so, what would you want to direct? I don't think he said that he's met with Ryan Coogler for a DC film. I don't think that was said. I think like Ryan Coogler and James Gunn know each other, and also James Gunn said that Ryan Coogler is like one of the best, you know, one of the best filmmakers working today in terms of like, you know, blockbusters. Oh yeah, Darren Aronofsky met with Gunn. Yeah, I remember that. He did say that. Gunn knows everyone. Yeah, I wouldn't be. I mean, yeah, he's a very big presence. I mean, the fact that he's now a studio executive, it's like, of course he's gotta know a lot of people. So, yeah. The Godzilla Minus One guy would be great for a DCU film. Okay, that's Takashi Yamazaki. I mean, maybe again. I'm wondering what would now. It is gonna be tough because like Godzilla. Well, Grant, we'll talk about, you know, Godzilla Minus One here in a little bit, but yeah. Gunn said he loved Matt Reeves in the DCU. He did. And if I'm not mistaken, could this be like the next subject? Okay, this isn't. It's not the next subject, but one thing that's also worth noting is that James Gunn has said that Creature Commandos Season 2 is not going to be written by him, which is a little bit of a bummer because I thought he did such a great job writing Creature Commandos. But then again, at the same time, I guess one of my criticisms of Creature Commandos was that I was starting to see more of the James Gunn-isms. So, and granted, he has established a tone. And so, yeah, I'm really wondering how this is going to turn out. Now, granted, I guess I think I still would have faith in it because, like, James Gunn said that if, like, that a project's not going to be greenlit unless there is a finished script that he likes, that he thinks is really, really good. So, I mean, so yeah, even if it's not written by James Gunn, I mean, he's still going to approve, like, he still has to approve what goes in and what, you know, to the whole thing. Superman in sound? I don't think so. I think it's just like visual effects and maybe makeup or bust. He doesn't want to spread himself too thin into projects he already have his fingerprints on it, like Creature Commandos. Yeah, I guess like and plus, you know, obviously like a lot more DC films are going to get into production pretty soon, and DC you know, series. So that's going to be true. And plus, I think he is currently writing a film, which we'll get to here in a bit. But yeah, like anyone, like, I don't know, I guess there's maybe not too much to talk about with, like, you know, Creature Commandos Season 2 not being written by James Gunn, but what are your guys' thoughts? Gotta watch Forrest Gump. Bye. Elizabeth Tennyson, goodbye. In what DCU project before Brave the Bold do you think is the best chance for Batman to make an appearance? I have no idea. I mean, I guess maybe Clayface? Because that is a Batman villain, but even then, I don't know. The way they're describing the film, it's like that they're describing it as if, like, you know, it's like kind of, it's still in the DCU, but it's not as interconnected as the other things. Are there any Creature Commandos characters that would be good to bring up into live action ASAP? I mean, really any of them, to be honest. I mean, I think, you know, with James Gunn's sensibilities and, you know, like, he loves using makeup and visual effects and stuff. I mean, really any of them could translate to live action. Do you think Sean Baker's cuteness kind of got him his Oscars? No, because I don't really think not James. Oh my God. No, because I don't really think Sean Baker is cute. No. Going to the Fantastic Four premiere soon. Wait, like you're seeing Forrest Gump and then immediately going into Fantastic Four? What the heck? Oh, in a week or two. Okay. Yeah, I guess there's not really too much to talk about with Creature Commandos Season 2. I'm looking forward to it. I think again the DC universe is is doing pretty well right now. One thing that's also interesting, Matthew Orton's script for the Deathstroke and Bane movie has been submitted to James Gunn and Peter Safran. Now, granted, we don't know Now, granted, this is not something that James Gunn has said, because this is just coming from someone, so we don't know if this is true or not. And from what I understand, it's not going to exactly be a Deathstroke and Bane movie. But this is an interesting pair to put up. Although, granted, I will say I really hope we get to see Deathstroke. Although then again, I think if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if this is like actually part of the DCU or not. I don't really know if this is like an Elseworlds thing or if it's DCU. I don't know. What do you want the Teen Titans lineup to be in the DCU? I would hope, it's. I'm kind of partial to the animated series, so you got Robin, Raven, Beast Boy, Cyborg, Starfire. I'm good. Like I'm like get them. Like most people, when you mention Teen Titans, most people will mention those five. And it's like I kind of want that to be the lineup. I mean, obviously, you could add more as time goes on, but then again, I don't know. I feel like one of the reasons why Titans, when you have the TV show Titans, and admittedly, it started to become not as interesting the more Titans they started adding to the lineup, because you also had, what was it? Hawk and Dove, and then you had Hawk and Tua. I'm sorry but then, Dick Grayson became Nightwing, and then we got like a new Robin, and they just started adding more stuff, and it started to, it started to feel a bit too cluttered. So I'm wondering how they would navigate that. I'm personally not a fan of Matthew as a writer. Are you familiar with his work? I looked up some of his work. He hasn't really done a lot, but again, I'm hoping it works out. We'll have to see. I think a Robin, Starfire, Raven, Beast Boy, and Blue Beetle, and one or two more is good for Teen Titans. I want Cyborg. You gotta have Cyborg in. You gotta get Cyborg. But yeah, let's see. Oh, but yeah, I'm kind of, like I said, if we're talking about the Teen Titans lineup, I kind of want that good old lineup that we had in the cartoon. I kind of like that. You could add Blue Beetle. I mean, granted, you already have established him, and they did say that James Gunn did say that Blue Beetle would be in the DCU. So hey. Wasn't Deathstroke supposed to be the villain in the Batfleck movie? Yes, yes. Oh my god! And we were robbed. We were robbed. In fact, not only that, because like when you look at the mid-credit scene for Justice League, when you look at the mid-credit scene for actually, I don't know if it was like the mid-credit scene or the end-credit scene, but but like, like when you look at the end credits, the end credits scene of the theatrical cut of Justice League, Deathstroke walks up to, Lex Luthor and talks about Lex Luthor talks about, we're going to make a league of our own, like hinting at the Legion of Doom, which, But then when you have Zack Snyder's Justice League, that mid-credit scene was changed a bit because it actually does lead into Batman, the Batman. Batfleck's the Batman. Because instead of the whole Legion of Doom thing, Lex Luthor says, I'm going to tell you something you really want to know. Batman's name is Bruce Wayne. And then Deathstroke perks up huh. And it's that was going to be the plot of the Batman. Deathstroke finds out that Bruce Wayne is Batman, and they go at it. That would have been so cool. Deathstroke is still one of my favorite, DC villains. And I love that he could just be anyone's villain. He's been a Batman villain, he's been a Teen Titans villain. Even in My Adventures with Superman, he's a villain there. He just kind of pops up everywhere. And I really like that about Deathstroke. We did get Matt Reeves as Batman out of it. That is true. I need the Legion of Doom in the DCU to be cartoony as hell. Do you think General Alliances will prefer Pattinson's Batman over the DCU one, or do you think they'll support both? I mean, as long as both are really good, they're going to support both. We'll talk about that here in a bit. Landed on a deserted island, you can only choose between Anora or Maestro. What film would you choose? Maestro, because Maestro is good. Maestro is just Oscar bait at its finest. Yeah, and I like Oscar bait. It doesn't, for me, it doesn't really matter how much Oscar bait something is or isn't. It's is it a good movie? Yes, that's all that matters to me. And Maestro is a good movie. I quite liked Maestro. I wouldn't nominate it for Best Picture, but certainly, in my opinion, leaps and bounds better than Anora. But yeah, I'm really I really do hope that this is in the DC universe, the DCU. Because again, I want to see Deathstroke here. I want to see Deathstroke in the DC universe. Rental family is Oscar bait. Let's go. But yeah, that's about it for the Deathstroke and Bane news. Next, for the longest time, whoa. People have been wondering, is Robert Pattinson gonna join the DCU? Is the Batman, Matt Reeves is the Batman, gonna be part of the DC universe? And that's been a hot, a really hot discussion. I've always been saying the Batman is separate. Even James Gunn said this, in his, DC slate announcement video he did in early 2023. He said that we're gonna have the DC universe, and we're gonna have this separate thing called Elseworlds, stuff that's not connected to the DCU, but we still want to tell those stories, like Todd Phillips' Joker, Matt Reeves is the Batman, and Teen Titans Go, Superman and Lois. That is all DC Elseworlds. So I thought he made it pretty clear, initially that the Batman, Matt Reeves is the Batman, is not canon to the DCU, and that Matt Reeves and that Robert Pattinson was not going to be the DCU's Batman. I thought it was made pretty clear, but people kept trying to insist, no, it could happen. And once again, James Gunn in this podcast, reiterated, Batman will be separate. The DCU Batman will be separate from Matt Reeves' Batman. He says the Brave and the Bold and other DCU Batman films probably won't be in the same calendar year as Reeves' Batman films. And that's another thing. like CG Speedruns says, I feel most general audiences will be confused at there being two Batmans at the same time. It would have been like having Christian Bale as Christian Bale and Batfleck at the same time. I don't think so. Because again, I think even like I think last year James Gunn said that we're gonna try to like come up with like put like an actual DC Elseworlds label on non-DCU projects. So it is very separate. And I don't think it's going to be confusing. I don't think it's really going to be confusing as long as you make it very clear in the marketing that these are two different things, you know? I think that's going to be fine. Again, like, and plus, especially when you look at like what kind of universes we're talking about. Like, the Batman is very grounded in somewhat of a reality, whereas I'm just going to assume, I'm not saying it's going to be Batfleck because it's not going to be Batfleck, but in terms of what kind of Batman we're going to get, I think it's going to be a lot more like how Batfleck was done, where he was a much more fantastical Batman. He's not as realistic, but that's the kind of Batman who you could see going toe-to-toe with metahumans. I think that's going to be the kind of Batman that we're going to get. It's going to be a much more like crazy, stronger, out there Batman, you know? I think Batman in the DC will be more focused on the Bat family. I think that's what James Gunn said. Like, The Brave and the Bold is about the father-sonhood of, you know, Bruce Wayne and Damian Wayne. Pattinson is not going to be in the DCU point blank. People will continue to believe he will be in the DCU even after Brave and the Bold releases. Yeah. And I don't know why people want Robert Pattinson to be the DCU Batman. Like, I like Robert Pattinson's Batman just being in his own little world. Like, we don't need to connect that to the DCU. Let's have a new Batman come in. We can have our cake and eat it too. We can have a more grounded in reality kind of, you know, the Batman. But yet we can also have a more fantastical Batman that's interacting with the metahumans. And even then, it's like the fact that, again, when you look at what's happened in Superman, and this isn't really like a spoiler, really. But they just explain that, like, 300 years ago, metahumans, you know, started appearing in our world. And if metahumans have been around for, like, 3 centuries, and not one bit of them was shown or said, like, anything in The Batman. Like, I get The Batman was a small story, but it's like, for a city as large as Gotham, it's like, not one metahuman was there or mentioned at all. I feel like it's just kind of weird. I don't think we need the Batman to be in the DCU. Again, I love the Batman. I love Robert Pattinson as the Batman, but why can't he just be in his own universe? I mean, and he is in his own universe. But it's like, I just don't get why people want him so bad to be in the DCU, other than he's just a very good Batman. I guess he is a very good Batman, but we could also have someone else who's also a really good Batman. And as long as you market the two projects accordingly, then people are not going to be confused. I'm a bit tired of seeing these more perfect men playing Batman. Couldn't it be someone more like Dominic Sessa? I don't know if I could see Dominic Sessa being Batman. The whole point of Batman is that he's a very large figure. The whole, like Batman is being described as being in, like, peak human condition. And it's, like, especially if we're talking about, you know, again, a Batman that's going to go up against metahumans in a cinematic universe, I feel like I don't feel like Dominic Sessa would be a good fit for this kind of Batman. I want a Batman with at least in a more fantastical world like this, I want Batman to be a very large dude, a very large framed guy. We got 3 Spider-Man so close to one another in the same movie. People won't be confused with 2 Batman. Yeah, especially if they're not even in the same universe. Not related, but the Matt Reeves verse being called the Epic Crime Saga is insanely hilarious. I think it's kind of cool. The Batman Epic Crime Saga. I think it's kind of fun. Yeah. What was your favorite part of K-pop Demon Hunters? We will get to that. Don't you worry. Are you worried about Andy Muschietti directing The Brave and the Bold, or will Gunn hire a new director? I'm not really concerned because all the problems I had with The Flash, I genuinely don't think had anything to do with Andy Muschietti. If I'm going to be completely honest. Because that movie was screwed over so bad by the studios and other people involved along the way. Because you got Warner Brothers screwing it over. You had Ezra Miller screwing it over because if you remember, they wanted to write the script for The Flash. And they had writers involved. I think it was going to be like the people who wrote Game Night that were going to write The Flash or something like that. And Ezra Miller was like, no, I want to write the script. And they were just like, what? And then those writers are cast aside, but then Ezra Miller's version didn't get made either. Which is, again, it's like, why? You're a performer. You don't need to be, like, you're not the one writing the script. Why do you need to do that? So yeah, and then again, then there was like the Ezra Miller controversy, which didn't help things, and then there was the whole thing about that because they changed the ending of The Flash so many times, and then we got to the ending that we got, and it's just all weird. And then you had the whole universes clashing into one another, which just screams like Warner Brothers execs like wanting to put all that in. It was just a mess. It was a complete mess, that film was. And again, the box office disaster, and it's just like, my God. So I just don't really blame Andy Muschietti. I don't really blame Andy Muschietti for all that, because it's like, that movie was just, that movie was doomed. It was doomed to fail. Because again, he made good movies before. You know, It and It Chapter 2 were very good. I mean, granted, people are a little bit more mixed on It Chapter 2, but It was really good. And even then, I thought the filmmaking of the Batman, the Batman scenes in The Flash was very strong. I liked the Batman action, but it's just, again, the studio just kept screwing everything over. What are your thoughts on should the kind of actor who should play Damian Wayne? I don't know, because here's the thing. If they're going to cast Damian Wayne, it's going to be an actor that no one really knows. Like, it's whatever Robin they're going to get, it's probably going to be someone we don't really know who it is. That's my assumption. Forrest Gump private screening canceled. Aw, man. Vince Vaughn is Batman. He's huge. I mean, no. Well, for one, like, I don't know if you know this, but Vince Vaughn is MAGA, so I don't really want to see him again. And again, I don't really know who they're going to get as Batman. I don't really know who. I mean, I have ideas in mind. But I just don't know if, I don't think Vince Vaughn would make a good fit for Batman, and even then, I don't want to see him again. So, yeah. I'm starting to think Andy Muschietti won't be directing The Brave and the Bold. I'd like to see Lord and Miller, direct a DCU, and this would be great for their sensibilities, in my opinion. I don't know. I don't think there's any reason to doubt that Andy Muschietti won't be directing Brave and the Bold. I just don't really see like the evidence to show that that's the case. I think Andy Muschietti is going to direct it. But yeah, I feel Jensen Ackles would be a great DCU Batman, but I feel like he's a bit too old. Yeah, that's another thing. I do think Batman should be older than Superman. But, like, Jensen Ackles is probably too old to start a new Batman franchise. Tom Holland would be a good Robin. I hope you're joking, because no. Because, like, for one, I hope that's a joke. But if you're being serious, no. Well, for one, Tom Holland is probably not going to act for much longer, because he said that when he has kids, he's gonna bounce, he's gonna retire. He's like, bye. And do you really think this guy, Tom Holland, wants to do another big superhero franchise after whenever he's done with Spider-Man? No. He's not. No. He's not gonna do that. No, once he's done as... I think once he's done as Spider-Man, that's going to be it for Tom Holland in franchises. And especially once he's... Again, he said once he has kids, he's bouncing out of Hollywood. He's going to retire. And he's just going to focus on being a dad, which, hey, that's great for him. But also, it's even if that wasn't the case... even if that wasn't the case... I was more joking with the Vince Vaughn thing. He just has that scrawny thing looking at him that would be fit as Robin. Okay, you're talking about, like, now that last bit you're talking about Tom Holland. But, come on, guys. Well, for one, if we're talking about Damian Wayne, like, Tom Holland's way too old to be playing that character now. He's way too old to be playing, Damian Wayne, especially if they're going to start a franchise. But even then, it's like, why is it that, like, every, like, younger white male character must be played by Tom Holland? I love Tom Holland. He's great. There are other actors than Tom Holland, though. I hate to say this, but it's like, there are other like, not every white male character that's kind of young needs to be played by Tom Holland. It's just or hell. And to be fair, that's not just my opinion. Like, there's this other guy, man. Hold on a second. I know, like, this other guy definitely, like, was, like, said this in a video. And I'm trying to remember his name. I'm going to look it up right now. But he said this exact same thing. And I'm like, yeah, that's, it's very... Hold on, I know where this guy is. Like, or like where is he? Like, I just saw this video just a few days ago. There he is. Okay, there he is. There's a really funny, there's this really funny video from this guy. No, not the audio, not the audio. This guy's name is Andy M. Lee. If you don't, like, this, he's a YouTuber, and he made this video that I think is really funny, but also really, really accurate. Where he says, a video called Superhero Fan Casts You Won't Shut Up About. This video right here, that's you all right now. Like, he talked about, like, oh man, let's have this one character who's like a white woman in her 20s, a young white woman, and let's have her be played by, like, Sydney Sweeney. It's like, this is you all right now. Like, this, he gets everything down in this video so much. Like, I'm going to actually link it in the chat. I'm going to link it in the chat because it's really funny, but it's also really accurate. But it's also, like, really accurate to like, superhero fan cast culture. Because it's like, this is very accurate to some of the takes people have over superhero fan castings. You think Damian Wayne will be 15 or 16 years old or younger? Probably around that age range. Maybe even younger. This is just a joke. Don't take it seriously. Oh, Soda Pop Demon Hunters. Jacob Tremblay or Mason Thames for Robin are more realistic. Jacob Tremblay, I don't know. I don't know if I could see him as Damian Wayne, but I don't know. But like I said, if you have not watched this video, again, like, look up Andy M. Lee. Like, this is his channel right here. Watch Superhero Fan Cast You Won't Shut Up About. This video is really funny, and it is so accurate to someone. Again, like every white character in comic books, every young white character in comics must always be played by Tom Holland or Sydney Sweeney. That's how a lot of you people are. It's really funny, and he's really funny. He's a really funny YouTuber. Go check him out. But yeah, I went on a tangent about the Matt Reeves Batman thing, but yeah, that's kind of my thought. What about the guy from Adolescence? I've not seen Adolescence, so I can't. Owen Cooper. I haven't seen that show, but again, I don't know. Again, to be fair, I don't really know what version of Damian Wayne they're going for, which we'll have to see. But yeah, next up we have apparently The Authority, which is one of the film projects that James Gunn announced. James Gunn has said that it's been rough getting this film going. He said the writer moved on to another movie in the DCU that I think he's really killing at right now, which is fascinating. It's like this is like one of the first projects that was announced, and yet now it's like kind of in like development hell. Which, granted, I guess it's better than just going into production without a script. But yeah, like, it is a shame that, especially since like we've already seen one of the characters of the Authority in Superman already, the engineer, that one lady who's like whoosh, and like she has all these like little, black goopy bead things like she could shape into things. Like, she's a member of the Authority. So I'm wondering how this is all going to work out. But yeah, I don't know too much about the Authority. But yeah, what do you guys think? What are you guys thinking about this? Theories on what he could be writing instead? I'm not really sure. Yeah, I'm not really sure what... I mean, if he's not saying what it is, then, it's probably... Maybe it hasn't been announced yet. But then again, he's also not announced who's writing Wonder Woman. But yeah, but I do hope that they get this movie going somewhat soon, because it's like... You already introduced a member of the Authority in Superman. So you probably want to introduce him at some point. Is James Mangold writing Swamp Thing or just directing? I think he's just directing right now. Now, apparently James Gunn said that Swamp Thing is also not going into production right now because, James Mangold is already involved with a lot of other films right now. So, yeah. Do you see a world where Todd Phillips directs a Marvel film? No way. That doesn't really sound like something he would do. Which member of the Authority? I just said the engineer. Like, her name is the engineer. Like, she's the lady who was like she was like taking down all those Superman robots. Like, that's basically, yeah, that's the engineer, and she's a member of the Authority. Oh, she was great in Superman. Yeah, I really liked her. I mean, she didn't have a whole lot of screen. But then she had a bit of screen time, to be honest. And she did pose a legitimate threat to Superman, which was kind of nuts. So I am pretty interested. I'm wondering if maybe one of the reasons why, why the Authority hasn't been moving along is because they're trying to focus on more of the core characters first for like these big blockbusters, which I always felt like was the right way to go. Like, I don't know why. Like, I personally, if I were running DC, I would not really announce an Authority movie right when you're trying to restart it. Like, I think you would want to start off with your core characters and then branch those off into smaller, more obscure characters. That one member of the Authority looks like Silver Surfer. Yeah, she does a little bit. But yeah. I guess there's not really much to say about this because, again, no one really knows anything about the Authority. But yeah. Moving on. We have this other bit of information. Again, it's not a whole lot, but apparently the Flash and Aquaman are not expected to be introduced in the DCU within the next 2 years. I kind of expected that already, because, like, I mean, because, like, their goal is to, like, have, like, 2 movies out a year, what is it, 2 live-action series, 1 animated series. So it's like, I wouldn't really expect Aquaman or the Flash to be introduced. Now I am like obviously when they inevitably do a Justice League film, they will need to be introduced, but I considering what they already have cooked up, it's like they probably don't have room for the Flash and Aquaman right now. I'm happy to see that they're going to focus on Superman, Supergirl, Wonder Woman, and Batman first. Take your time, DC. Yeah, that's my thoughts as well. It's like I think that's what obviously, yeah, when Marvel did Guardians of the Galaxy, that was like a big success, but there is a bit of context there. People were already sold on Marvel at this point. They were already sold on it. It's like, all right, yeah, because you had all these other films that did very well and were very well received. You had the Avengers, and that did very well. And now you can do Guardians of the Galaxy because people trust Marvel now. Whereas with DC, the exact opposite happened. Because once they introduced, concepts, like Birds of Prey and, Blue Beetle, and no one wanted to go see those movies because people did not like the DC movies. And it's like, well, if we don't know that what we're getting is great, we're not going to go see them. Whereas now I feel like you got to establish your core heroes first, and then branch off. Now, obviously, granted, Clayface is obviously not like a core hero or core villain, really, in the grand scope of DC. But it's also like not like a very large budgeted film. It's being treated like a horror film. Who can it be now? I have no idea. I have no idea. What do you think is more likely, a female U.S. president or an actor winning Best Actor for a DC or Marvel film? Well, I mean, that's already happened with Joaquin Phoenix in Joker. That already happened. I think Aquaman will have blonde hair this time when they finally introduce him. I mean, I don't know what they're going to go with. I mean, who knows what they go with in terms of Aquaman? I do think Aquaman, like, I've always said Aquaman was always like, was always like a very underrated, like, DC hero. Like, everyone always called Aquaman a joke, but it's like, this dude is the king of the oceans. He like, this dude's powerful. So, yeah. Do you think after how The Flash underperformed the DCU, The Flash will just get a TV show but not a movie? I don't know, to be honest. I mean, again, going with what James Gunn said, he said, like, as long as we get, like, a good script, it doesn't really matter what we do. I think down the line we're going to get a Flash movie or something like that. Again, I feel like just the right project and the right script just needs to be written, That's more of a drama that doesn't count. But it does count because it is a DC character. It is a DC movie. Like, yeah, sure, Joker is a drama, but that is based off of DC Comics and DC Comics characters. So my point still stands. Joaquin Phoenix winning Best Actor for Joker, that does count. Do you think they'll go Barry Allen or Wally West when they bring in the Flash? Maybe they don't go for Barry Allen because, like, we've already had Barry Allen in, like, the Flash TV series. And we saw his origin, and we already saw his origin in the Flash movie. So I think if it were me doing the Flash, or like if I were the co-CEO of DC Studios, I would probably go with someone different. Now, I don't know if it'll be Wally West, which, granted, I don't know that much about Wally West because I don't read the comics that much. I just know more about Barry Allen because, again, we've seen him in the movies and TV shows. But, like, they're probably good. I think they would probably go with with one of the other Flashes, considering we've already kind of been Barry Allen'd out, and there's already plenty of other Flashes out there. Or both like they're doing with Lanterns. I don't know. Again, I don't know what their approach is. It's a totally different universe, man. What I mean is something something actually fictive, like Lord of the Rings, or I don't know what I don't know what you mean by that. Or an actual Superman with a man capable of flying around like a bird. Are you talking like? I'm not really sure what you mean by that. So I'm sorry. I don't know what is the point being made. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I do. Again, I think if it were me, I would go with a different Flash than Barry Allen. We've seen Barry Allen enough. We can give. Fantastical is what he means, I think. Oh, but I don't. But I mean, but I still think, like, unless you're talking about just like the DCU, if you're talking about the DCU instead of, or the DCU or MCU, maybe we could talk about that. But if we're talking about like just a DC film or a Marvel film, then again, the DC film thing has already happened. Like people actually having superpower. Arthur Fleck was just a creep. Well, I mean, if you're not establishing, regardless whether it's a DC, universe film or not, then I'm just going to assume this question is just getting too confusing. I think we're just going to move on. But yeah, and the final bit of news for DC is that James Gunn has said that Superman is very important to his next film, but it's not a direct Superman sequel. The film will not be World's Finest or Batman vs. Superman, which is interesting. I kind of would hope we would get a World's Finest film, but one thing that is very interesting is that he is still writing this Superman project. Or even, because he said it's also not like a direct sequel. Yeah, it's not a direct sequel, but it's also not World's Finest or Batman vs. Superman. I'm wondering what this actually is, though. Like, what film is he writing that, like, this is what I'm actually very curious over, Hold on a second. I'm going to take a swig. But yeah, I am very curious as to what this film could be. I mean, I hope eventually we do get like a Batman super. I mean, obviously, eventually we're going to get Justice League. Or, actually, you know what? What if it's just a Superman holiday special and it's not even a movie? I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think so. Sup, Christian? Hello, Try Easy. But you know what? I'm kind of thinking... What? My theory is a Superman and Supergirl team up with Brainiac as the villain. He said he was going to make Brainiac the villain of Superman before he decided on Lex. Well, I don't think that means he was going to make Brainiac the villain. I think he was considering making Brainiac the villain. I think those are two different things. If I'm going to make a guess, this is my guess. What if he's writing and directing Justice League? What if, like, when, that Justice League movie comes around, that James Gunn is going to write and direct it? I think that'd be cool. And it would make sense, because James Gunn does do teams very, very well. So maybe and plus, like, Justice League is, like, probably the biggest gamble they're going to, at least one of the biggest gambles that they're going to make. Obviously, like, the big hurdle was going to be Superman, because he had to, like, win people over with a new Superman movie. But, however... At the same time, Justice League is going to be monumental for DC because, like, it's going to be monumental for DC because the last Justice League movie, I mean, like the theatrical version of Justice League, did not do well at all, critics and audiences, and even financially. There was so much production hell. So I really think whenever they get to Justice League, everything is riding on it, and I think that when they do the Justice League film, James Gunn is going to want to make sure that it's as good as it can be. And I think he might actually write and direct Justice League. That's kind of my theory. What do you guys think? But also at the same time, James Gunn did say that the announcement for what film he's writing next is going to be announced very soon. Not like this week or anything like that, but he said very soon, which makes me wonder if it could be Comic-Con. But then again, I don't think DC Studios is going to have a presence at Comic-Con, so I have no idea what they're going to do. That's not a bad theory. Again, it would make sense. James Gunn would want to make sure that Justice League is as good as it can be. But not only that, he's very good at team-up projects. Like, he was very good at writing the Guardians of the Galaxy films. He was very good at writing the Suicide Squad. He was very good at writing Creature Commandos. It's like, this just kind of makes sense, really. And plus, he already kind of has the Justice Gang with, like, Hawkgirl. And that's another thing. We have already a few members of the Justice League here. Because you got Superman, you got Hawkgirl, you have Mr. Terrific, you got Guy Gardner Green Lantern, and you're probably also going to have Jon Stewart Green Lantern. When do you think Justice League will release? I think setting up all is going to take a while, so it'll probably be around 2028. I don't even think it's going to be 2028. Because here's the thing. I don't think... yeah, 2028 I think is good. Like, it's good. I think it's going to be much further down the line than 2028. But I also don't think they're going to give each hero their own standalone movie, because I don't think you need to do that. I mean, contrary to what people will say, I don't think you necessarily need individual films for each individual character. You just got to make sure they're established well. Like, I still contend that when it came to Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, having that be Batman's introduction was a smart move. Again, say what you will about the rest of the film or how, the film went overall, but in principle, having Batman versus Superman be Batman's introduction into the DCEU was a good move. Because at that point, we already know who Batman is. We know Batman, we know his origin story, we don't need to see it again, even though ironically enough, we did see it again. But it's like, you could just drop Batman into that world and it would work. And even then, dropping in Wonder Woman at the last third, I think is not a bad move either. Again, the Doomsday stuff I think was way too much. But again, like, having Wonder Woman pop up in there and revealing herself to, as a metahuman and whatnot, and her, let's say, like, she served as, like, a mediator between Batman and Superman, and she stopped the fight. Like, that would make sense, too. So it's like, I think you don't need to set up every superhero to do a Justice League film, but you just gotta set things up properly. And I think what they're going to do is that they're gonna put in, they already got Superman. Then they're going to do maybe Wonder Woman or Batman next. And we'll talk about Wonder Woman here in a bit. So I think what they're going to do is they're going to set up the Trinity, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman. And, like, have the other characters, like, show up. And hell, we already have like 3 characters introduced in Superman. We're going to have, we're going to have, what's his name? Jon Stewart show up in Lanterns. So it's like you already got a fair number of the Justice League in there, And also Supergirl. You also have Supergirl in there. This would be fun if there was an equivalent film of the Joker, but with Batman instead of with an actual realistic take on his life and some minor twists. It is doable. I mean, maybe, but that's probably going to be like an Elseworlds thing. But again, I think maybe it could be Justice League, but then again, I don't know. Now, again, to be fair, we also haven't had everything announced yet in terms of what the rest of Chapter 1 of Gods and Monsters is going to be. And they did say they have a 10-year plan, but I don't know exactly, how far this 10-year plan is going to go. Or is it going to expand beyond just 10 years? Because there's just a lot of groundwork you have to set up and stuff. Gunn said Peacemaker is going to tell us a lot about where his universe is headed. What do you think he means? Someone suggested that maybe it could be like Earth 2, where it could be that's where you have Ultraman and all these sort of opposite versions of the Justice League. Someone could, and it would make sense because I think it had okay. Now, I guess it does, I guess it, doesn't really, it's not really a spoiler because we are like, well, I don't know. If you haven't seen, okay, I'll just say this right here. Yeah, I think I'll say this right here. When you see the, I'm gonna have the camera on me here for when I'm talking about the Superman spoilers. So when you see me go like this, it means the spoilers are over. But if you have not seen Superman, I'm gonna talk about a little bit of I'm going to discuss a little bit of a spoiler regarding Superman. So if you don't want to be spoiled, mute your computer or your phone or whatever. And when you see me go like this, that means that the spoilers will be done, okay? Because I gotta discuss this, all right? Spoilers in 3, 2, 1. I think this has... I don't think it's a coincidence that Ultraman being a Superman clone, and the fact that we have another Peacemaker show up in the Peacemaker Season 2 trailer, I don't think that's a coincidence. I think they're doing something with the clones here. Either the clones or just evil versions of these characters. I have no idea. But I don't think it's a coincidence. I think something's up there. I think maybe they could be right that there's an Earth 2 and that there is... they're going to deal with, opposite members of the Justice League or something like that. But yeah, I don't know. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Welcome back. Alright, done with the spoilers. Discuss amongst yourselves. Hawkgirl, Guy Gardner, Maxwell Lord, and Amanda Waller will be in Peacemaker. Do you think they'll have big roles in it? I don't know about big roles, because I think Team Peacemaker is going to be the main focus here, but I think they will have a focus in it. Or at least have some roles in there. Oh, and I do want to let you guys know, God, we have 12 viewers here. Hello. I do want to let you guys know that we do have memberships open. If you want to become a member, you can join for $2 a month. We have loyalty badges, emojis, members only videos, members only shoutouts at the end of my videos, early access to Oscar predictions videos, members only live chats. And if you're a member, spam those emojis in chat. Spam those Hannahcast emojis in chat if you're a member. It's a lot of fun. Consider becoming a member. Or, again, you could become a member. You could gift a membership. You could send a super chat. Or if you want to help me more directly, you can go to my Ko-Fi page, which is on, which is at the pinned comment of this live chat. See, there we go. Look at those Hannahcast emojis. There's so many of them. Oh, my God. Gunn said that the idea of pocket universes is fundamental to what's going on, to what's being told in the DCU. I believe that. I believe that very much. But yeah, I'm very excited for what this film could be. So yeah. Next. Yeah, we're right now getting away from the DC stuff, and now we're talking about some of the other movie news. Apparently the sequel to Godzilla Minus One could release as soon as next year, which I'm really excited over. Godzilla Minus One was one of my favorite films of 2023. I thought it was a big surprise. Get it big because Godzilla, but I was just not expecting a Godzilla movie to be that good. It was genuinely fantastically written. It's just insane how good this film was. But I'm really excited. I'm really excited for, I don't know what it's gonna be called, because the first one's Godzilla Minus One, but Godzilla Minus, yeah. Oh, that is surprising. I thought it would be crap. The True deserved winner visual effects award. Well, right, Christian? No! Godzilla Minus One did not deserve best visual effects. It was the best movie in the category, but it was not the best visual effects of the year. The best visual effects of the year were clearly the creator, but the people who generally vote for the Academy are not visual effects people, and so that's why it won. Which is also why Godzilla Minus One couldn't even win the only award it was nominated for over the Visual Effects Society Awards, which is voted on by visual effects people. I will never get over this. I love Godzilla Minus One, but it did not need to win Best Visual Effects. It did not need to win that. That was stupid. But still, I am very excited. And also, we're just getting a lot of Godzilla films. Like, we're going to be getting this, like, a Southeast Asian Godzilla film. We're going to be getting more legendary Godzilla projects. Like, oh, and it's just a lot. There's just a lot of movies. Does the sequel have a bigger budget? I have no idea, to be honest. I really have no idea. It might get a bit of a bigger budget. But it's probably, I don't know how bigger it would actually be. It's packed with all these types of films. Another visual effects nomination? I don't think so. I don't think the sequel to Godzilla Minus One is gonna win again. Because here's the thing: Godzilla Minus One only got nominated for a few, because, well, one, like, it was a weak year for visual effects already in 2023. It was already a weak year, and if Dune Part 2 had not moved, because remember, Dune Part 2 was originally supposed to come out that year. I don't think, if Dune Part 2 just didn't move, I don't think Godzilla Minus One would have been nominated. I just do not. Especially considering, Mission... Because I think Mission Impossible was probably, number 4 to get nominated. Because it got nominated for, a couple of Visual Effects Society awards, whereas, Godzilla Minus One only got nominated for, one Visual Effects Society award, and it wasn't really competing anywhere else. So yeah, unless, it's, again, I just don't think it's going to happen. Especially since next year is looking really packed. Because next year we got Dune Part 3. We got, what is it? We got Avengers Doomsday. We got I think the potential Chronicles of Narnia film. We got, what exactly is coming out next year in terms of visual effects? Hold on a second. Let me look at where all this is going. Visual effects. Because yeah, Dune Part 3, that's the Narnia film. Avengers Doomsday, The Mandalorian and Grogu. You don't want to doubt The Mandalorian and Grogu. Honestly, seeing the trailer for Project Hail Mary, that's probably not going to happen in visual effects. And honestly, maybe Supergirl. Maybe Supergirl happens. We just got way... Oh, wait, I forgot. Isn't Spider-Man coming out next year? I think? Wait, I don't know if Spider-Man's coming out next year. The Lord of the Rings film has been, delayed, so that's not going to happen. But yeah, I don't think Godzilla Minus... I don't think the Godzilla Minus One sequel is going to get nominated. I don't. Because next year just looks kind of too packed. Thoughts on the Odyssey tickets being sold out for IMAX? Oh, we talked about that yesterday. Supergirl. Yeah, Supergirl. That's kind of... What in the world? Mopey button? What the heck? My God. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mopey Button, for the $10 donation. That's so awesome of you. Thank you so much. I don't know who Mopey Button is, but man, thank you so much. Thank you for that. That really does help the channel. Oops. Do you think the budget will be the same for Supergirl as it was for Superman? I think $225 million. I think it's probably going to be around that because here's the thing. Supergirl is now dealing with, like, this is going to be like a cosmic, like, action film. The budget's probably going to be kind of big because it's going to be kind of out there. And I'm also really wondering how they're going to tackle Lobo. Like, is he going to be done with makeup? Is he going to be done with visual effects? I'm not entirely sure. But, yeah, considering it's going to be like a big space movie, it's probably going to be, you know, it's probably going to be around the same budget, probably. Next, we got this is funny. A live-action Captain Planet series is in the works at Netflix. Leonardo DiCaprio and Greg Berlanti will executive produce the series with their production companies. I mean, Leo, this is kind of expected. I mean, he's a very big environmentalist, and, you know, if it were me, I hope they really kind of like make this like a satire of Captain Planet, because I feel like with Captain Planet, like with Captain Planet, like its message was very, you know, like, how do I explain it? Misguided in a way. And what I mean by that, because like the whole thing is like the power is yours, like you can prevent pollution from happening. But the problem is, it's not really an individual problem. Like, obviously, yeah, people litter and that sucks. But the bigger thing that's like contributing to, you know, climate change and the destruction of the environment is big corporations. And big corporations don't want to own up to the fact that they're, like, polluting the atmosphere and polluting water on such a huge scale. Because it doesn't matter how, because it doesn't really matter how much each of us are contributing. Like, oh yeah, go green. Like, yeah, it doesn't, the issue is way too big for any of us individuals to solve. It's a full-on industry problem. But obviously, the government's never gonna like crack down on that, because again, politics are way too divisive, and especially with this current presidency, that's not gonna happen anytime soon. I can guarantee you that. But so I feel like if Captain Planet wanted to make fun of that aspect, like the power is yours, like we can't do anything, Captain Planet. Like what the hell? Like what, like picking up a bottle off of the ground, like, yeah, that's cool and all, but like they're pumping out CO2 emissions like it's their birthday or whatever. Like, I hope they make, I feel like the only way you could do Captain Planet is to make it a satire of not just the show itself, but also just like the whole reason why the planet's dying to begin with. I grew up watching the animated series. God, you must be way older than me, because like Captain Planet was way before my time. You must be way older than me. Not surprised Netflix is doing this, considering they like throwing big budgets around a lot of projects. Yep, and this is gonna get like 2 seasons, and then they're gonna cancel it, because that's what Netflix always does. It looks like the cast from Scooby-Doo. What? I think that's just like the 80s aesthetic. But yeah, like I said, I feel like the only way you could make Captain Planet work is if it's like self-aware of not only itself, but if it's aware of like not only its own existence, but also just like the current state of, you know, politics meddling with, you know, all this stuff. Regarding like how corporations are just destroying the planet on a whim just to save a buck, and how modern politicians, or maybe not even just modern, but just politicians just don't want to do anything, and especially nowadays with our current government, where they want to dismantle active like national parks to make to make more residency for stuff and all that. And it's like the problem isn't like the fact that there's not enough houses. We have enough resources to make houses and stuff. It's just it's all too expensive. We can't that's the problem. Building and let's face it, even building over national parks, they're not gonna make houses out of all that. They're gonna put more factories and stuff. They're gonna put more coal mines in these places because that's what Trump likes. He just likes to look daddy corporations. He loves that corporation money too much to do anything about it. But yeah. I'm interested to see what they're going to do with Captain Planet, but I really do hope they just do away with the whole "the power is yours" message and really acknowledge the problem is way bigger than any individual can ever conceive of solving. That's the only way you could do it. And then finally, well, actually, no, not finally, because we also have another project after this. Not another project, another topic after this. A new Dredd movie is in the works with Taika Waititi set to direct, which I'm not gonna lie, I don't buy this 1 second. Because Taika Waititi has had a million projects being made, and they just did not end up happening. I remember he was gonna do Akira, and then that didn't happen. But also, I'm not sure, knowing what the kind of director Taika Waititi is, I don't know if he's the right fit for Judge Dredd. I don't know, especially because, which I will say, that Dredd movie from 2012 was really cool. I really liked Dredd a lot. Jojo Rabbit was a masterpiece. Oh yeah, I think Jojo Rabbit's great, actually. I think Jojo Rabbit's great. But it's still kind of a comedy. Dredd is not a comedy one bit. I do know he can direct, but I just don't think he's the right kind of director for, Judge Dredd. This is being shopped around to studios, and I don't see it getting picked up, but you never know. Its writer involved is quite good. Who's the writer? Actually, I could just click this right here. Who could potentially be writing this Judge Dredd film? Okay, Drew Pearce. Okay, so he wrote The Fall Guy and Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. Alright, that's cool. I like that. He strikes me a bit like Todd Phillips, who can do several genres, but we haven't really seen that from Taika Waititi yet. That's the problem. Even as good as Jojo Rabbit was, it still felt like a Taika Waititi movie. Taika Waititi has a weird way of directing movies. I don't know how he can direct... I don't know how he can go for something like Akira. Again, I'm not sure. And especially now, it's he seems to be going at a career low. Because, Thor Love and Thunder wasn't really well received that well. And also... what was it? There was also... damn it, what was it? Next Goal Wins. Next Goal Wins was also not really well received. Very well at all. Again, I'm wondering what his next project's going to be. I am kind of curious, but I just don't know if Judge Dredd is the right project for Taika Waititi. I don't know if that's the right project. But again, we could just see what happens. Where is it? He's still an Oscar winner? He is, but again, it was for a genre that's very different. Because Judge Dredd would be is supposed to be like really gritty and aggressive. I just don't know if Taika Waititi can do that. Do you think Quentin Tarantino could be a... Do you think Quentin Tarantino could be a success direct a Marvel film? I have no idea what you're saying. I'm so sorry. I'm very confused. If you're saying, do I think Quentin Tarantino would direct a Marvel film? I don't think he would. I don't think Quentin Tarantino would ever direct a Marvel film. Didn't someone write Ragnarok? I assume Taika Waititi wrote it. I thought he wrote it. Someone else write Thor. Hey Google, who wrote the screenplay for Thor Ragnarok? Okay, so there was a few writers, but Taika Waititi was one of the writers. Basically asking if you think Tarantino could successfully direct a Marvel film. I mean, it depends on what kind of Marvel film. It depends on the character. But I think he could. I mean, he's a great filmmaker. But again, it depends on like what the character is and whatnot. But again, with Judge Dredd, I just don't know if Taika Waititi is a strong fit for the director's chair in that one. But yeah, I don't know. But now, the final topic we got tonight is, before we get into a little bit of chat discussions, is K-pop Demon Hunters. Man, like this is a film that's been popping off. Oops, I need to take that off. This film has been popping off on Netflix. Like it's quickly becoming one of the most viewed one of the most watched animated films ever on Netflix. And the thing is, like, this was like a completely organic response. Hey, Mr. Hannah, how are you? Is the rent situation under control? Not really yet. Not yet. We're still trying to, get as much as we can. Like, we still have the Ko-Fi up. It's in the pinned chat. So we're not quite there yet. But still, K-pop Demon Hunters. I saw the trailer for this and I'm like, knowing Sony Pictures Animation nowadays, this looks promising. Like, it looked funny. I was like, all right, this looks kind of fun. And then last night I watched it. I watched K-pop Demon Hunters. And I gotta say, oh my god. Oh my god. I gotta tell you guys, this movie's fantastic. I'm dead serious. This movie, like, K-pop Demon Hunters is not only just a good animated film. It's a great animated film. It is phenomenal. Like, what is this film about? Like, basically, the lore of this film is that there are like endless generations of a singing, of three women who are singers, but their voices, propel back demons. And it's gone, through so many, and this, this whole thing has just gone through like so many decades and even centuries even, and across multiple music genres. And now it's K-pop. And the way they set this world up is really fascinating. I actually really liked what they were doing. So yeah. And this film, my god, like, for one, it's really funny. It's like the comedy in the film is like really, really funny. Obviously, like, I love the like it's very fast-paced humor that I did really like. And also the animation is really cool. Like, it's one of those films like that does have like the lower frame rates, and it just allows for the expressions to be held on a lot more, and and ironically enough, it makes the action feel even faster. But where this film really got me was its emotional core. Because again, I'm not going to say what happens, but I will say it was it really reminded me of a lot of other Sony Pictures animation films recently, like the Spider-Verse films, like Mitchell's vs. the Machines, like Vivo. This movie does that so well. I even teared up in this film. The climax of this film is so beautiful. Like, it's like not just artistically, but emotionally as well. I was captivated by all three of these the three main characters. They're all really funny, and yet all have are just really, they're all really engaging characters. Even the villains, well, I guess maybe there's one villain that gets a lot of focus. He's fascinating as well. And the way all this just crescendos, it's just so good, man. I'm telling you, this is one of the best animated films of the decade so far. I'm dead serious about that. It is absolutely wonderful. This film is. This film is just absolutely wonderful. And so, and then we get to the music. The music is just astounding. I mean, there's this opening song where it's they're singing as we see the first opening action scene. And it's really pumped up. It's really fun. And then there's a song called Golden, which, oh my god. Actually, I need to look up what these songs are called. Screw it. I need to look up what these songs are called. Because these songs are so good. Oh yeah, the song where that happens during the opening fight scene is called "How It's Done." Very energized. Kind of reminds me of what's that song called? It reminds me a bit of Night Falls from Descendants 2. Which I know it's kind of, I don't know if it's it's Descendants 3, I think. Which I know it's weird, but I didn't actually watch Descendants 3, I just know that song. But How It's Done really reminded me of that. Golden is a beautiful song, and it really teaches you a lot about these characters and how they're feeling. And then you have What It Sounds Like, which I think is probably one of the more underrated songs in the movie. That's the song that really had me, emotional. Oh my god, it's just it's such a good movie. If you have not seen K-Pop Demon Hunters, yes, this premise sounds really silly, but it's so freaking good. Oh my god. And I'm not even I don't listen to a lot of K-Pop. But to be fair, I don't really listen to a lot of popular music in general. I don't listen to Taylor Swift a lot. I don't really, hell, I don't know. Who's the biggest popular, who are some of the more popular stars now? I don't know. I don't listen to, I never listened to Justin Bieber. He's not really relevant anymore, but still. But my god, and the thing is, I want this to get nominated for Best Animated Feature at the Oscars. I want this to get a nomination. Honestly, it should win. I cannot imagine an animated film being better than this one here. This is going to end up being the best animated film of the year. It's already very close to maybe being my favorite film of the year. It's kind of up there with Sinners, but it could beat Sinners. I don't know. But oh my god, K-Pop Demon Hunters is it is one of the best films it is one of the best animated films of the decade. And Sony Pictures Animation, I think they are now maybe my favorite animation studio right now. Because they are constantly making movies that are way better than what Pixar's churning out nowadays. The last Pixar movie I loved was Turning Red. And, I've only loved two Pixar films in the 2020s. That is Soul, and that is, Turning Red. Those are the only two Pixar films that I've loved. Sony, they had, again, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Vivo, they had Mitchell's vs. the Machines, and now K-Pop Demon Hunters. These films that Sony's producing right now, they are doing what Pixar used to do a lot back in the day. They're very funny, very creative, and yet hit the emotions hard like a gut punch. It's I can't, and the thing is, you can't even say it's the Lord and Miller effect, because Lord and Miller are not even involved in this film. They're not even involved in this film, and they weren't involved in Vivo either, but still. Like, this is just full-on, like such a really creative, emotional film. I loved it so much. And I really hope you guys watch it. I cannot recommend K-Pop Demon Hunters enough. It is just that good. It is such a good movie. I'm not going to be able to add much to the K-Pop movie combo. Haven't seen it. You should. You should see it. It's that good. I've heard good to great things about it, but it's not my thing, so I'm not going to be checking it out. No, do check it out. You're missing out. I'm telling you. It may not sound like it's your thing, but it will be. You gotta see it. You gotta see this. Do you know how to professionally sing or dance? Not professionally, but I think I've self-taught myself to sing at least somewhat decently. Better than Spirited Away? I mean, the thing is, I like Spirited Away quite a bit, but I don't love it like most people do. So, I don't know. Like, I personally would say it's better than Spirited Away, but I don't know. But it's weird, because, like, Spirited Away is not even, like, a Sony film, so it's kind of a weird comparison either way. This film should have been in theaters, absolutely, but, you know, Netflix hates free money, so, you know. Does this mean you think it'll get an animated feature nom now? The thing is, I still don't think it will, because I think people, again, I'm even seeing people in chat right now saying that they're probably not gonna watch it because because of the name K-Pop Demon Hunters. And I fear that's what's going to happen in the Academy. They're gonna see the name K-Pop Demon Hunters, they're gonna think it's a stupid idea and it looks stupid, but they're not gonna watch it and they're not gonna actually see how good it is. Which is a shame, because this should be winning Best Animated Feature, but it's probably not even gonna get nominated. It does deserve the win, though. It's like, I can't imagine what other animated film could come out this year that's better than this. It's just that good. Dude, Free is a great love song in the movie. I'm trying to remember what song that was in the film. Is it better than Shrek or Spirited Away? I mean, I don't even like Shrek. So, like, that's my hot take. Like, I think Shrek is a bad movie. I love Sony Pictures animation. Oh, wait. Soul was awesome. It really was. Soul is definitely one of Pixar's best. I love Sony Pictures animation. I remember when the studio first started their first feature film open season. Yeah, that's the thing. Sony used to be a joke. They used to be a joke in terms of making movies. Like open season, the Smurfs live action movies, the Emoji movie. It's like, what are we doing, guys? Come on. But then slowly and surely, they have become, in my opinion, the best major animation studio out there. It's nuts. Your Idol just might be the villain song we've gotten in years, but if you don't count I'm Just Ken. It's debatable as to whether or not Ken was a villain in the film, because, I don't know. But it's like, Your Idol, I'm trying to remember Your Idol. There were so many songs in the movie I couldn't remember all of them. Can't believe open season was Sony Pictures Animation's first movie until their studio would get bigger when they make good movies now these days. Yeah. My favorite movie from them is Spider-Verse and Vivo. Vivo is so underrated. Like, more people need to watch Vivo. I'll give it a watch, but if it doesn't catch my interest in the first 10 minutes, I won't be watching it further. No, you gotta stick through it. I'm telling you, you gotta stick through it. It's not like you're wasting money. I mean, granted, the first 10 minutes are also, like, really good as well, but it's like you just got, like, just try watching it all the way through, because, like, especially that climax, it is so worth it. K-Pop Demon Hunter is better than those sequels of Hotel Transylvania and Open Season. I've not seen any of the Hotel Transylvania sequels or Open Season, but yeah. I highly doubt the Academy would ignore this movie just from the title alone. If they would nominate The Boss Baby, Ferdinand, Surf's Up, why not this? Well, here's the thing. Surf's Up, that was a... Like, that was, like, in the early days of Best Animated Feature where just, like, the random things would just get in. And Boss Baby and Ferdinand, like, I don't know. That was a weird year for Animated Feature. But, like, this is the same Academy that snubbed the Lego movie, the Lego Batman movie. The Lego Batman movie over... Like, they snubbed the Lego Batman movie and yet still put in Ferdinand and Boss Baby. And they also snubbed out Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem and instead nominated one of the worst Pixar movies ever made, Elemental. But again, it's like for me, if they're gonna snub, if they snub, you know, the Lego Movie and the Lego Batman movie and, you know, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, I think they would snub K-pop Demon Hunters. Because again, I'm already having to convince AJ to watch the movie as is. What do you think the Academy is going to do? The Academy is just not going to want to watch this film, which is a shame because, again, it deserves the win. It should absolutely win, but I'm just concerned. I'm just very much concerned over the reception. Not reception, but like the initial thought of like, oh, a K-pop movie? We don't need to watch that. It's not serious, even though it is. Shrek is a bad film. It's one of the greatest animation films, and the sequel is even better. Okay, I have not seen Shrek 2, so I cannot speak on Shrek 2. But in my opinion, I really did not like the first Shrek. I thought it was painfully unfunny. But I know that's a very, very, very hot take. Do you think Critics' Choice could propel this into the Oscars radar? I mean, I do think it'll help. I mean, you know, Critics' Choice will go for the fun films. Like, they will nominate the Lego Movie and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But it's really the Oscars that I worry for. I really worry about what the Oscars are going to do. Wait until you see the trailer of Fixed by Genny Tartakovsky, also by Sony. It was a weird transition for the next film after K-pop. Yeah, I've heard not great things. I wasn't a big fan of K-pop. I'm assuming you mean K-pop music. But the characters made me continue watching the film. Yeah, the characters are really, really good. Is it too late to change the title of the film then? I mean, they might. I mean, the title's already out. The movie's already out. They can't really do anything about it. It'll be painful if K-pop Demon Hunters sweeps the Annie Awards only to get snubbed at the Oscars. Yeah, that's good. That would be a shame. Again, K-pop Demon Hunters deserve... And honestly, it also deserves to be nominated for Best Original Song. I would even go as far as to even say, like, you know, Best Original Score. But... yeah. Is it by an unknown director? Are you talking about K-pop Demon Hunters? I mean, yeah, I've never heard of these directors before. I've never really heard of them before. What is it? Maggie Kang and Chris Applehands. So I've never heard of these two. But again, they made a damn good movie. They made a damn good movie. Again, like, hell, I would even say this. I think it's even better than Mutant Mayhem. And Mutant Mayhem, keep in mind, was also already a 10 out of 10 movie. Like, I love K-pop Demon Hunters. This movie's fantastic. I was already looking forward to this because I kind of like the concept. And the animation style looked fun. But this was way better than I imagined it would be. Way better than I imagined it would be. Again, I cannot recommend this film enough. Like, if you have not seen K-pop Demon Hunters, it is on Netflix. Go watch it. It is worth your time. It is absolutely worth your time. It is one of the best films of the year, and I don't think it's gonna like get bumped out of my list of the top 10 films of the year. I feel that strongly about it. It's just that good. But yeah. But yeah, my God. Who knows? Parasite won big time not that long ago. I feel like that's different though, because again, it's also not animated. Like it was just competing in Best Picture. I don't know what Parasite really has to do with like K-pop Demon Hunters at all. I mean, I get it, Korea, but like that's not really the issue here. I don't think the issue is like Korean culture. I think it's just like, again, it's a movie with a goofy title that I'm worried that the Academy is not going to take seriously, and they're just not going to watch. Because if they do watch K-pop Demon Hunters, they will nominate it. But I'm just worried that they're just going to skip over this film and just go for mid-animated films, especially in a year. Because here's the thing, especially with a year this week in Best Animated Feature, this year is not looking all that great for the category. It would be a crime to not nominate K-pop Demon Hunters. I mean, it should win, but it's probably not going to. But again, I want it to. Again, I want to be wrong. Believe me, I want to be wrong about this. I want to be wrong. Because K-Pop Demon Hunters absolutely deserves it. Hell, it should be in Best Picture. But again, it's just like, I'm just worried that the title is just going to put off voters. I'm worried that that's going to happen. I mean, hell, especially considering Netflix didn't really do anything to market it. Because, like, the whole thing about K-Pop Demon Hunters, like, popping off and, like, becoming a big hit, it's like, that was, like, it was completely organic. Like, Netflix was not expecting K-Pop Demon Hunters to be a big thing. And now, like, K-Pop Demon Hunters, its album, it's now, like, I think it's, like, what, the highest charted, you know, fictional character soundtrack since Hannah Montana. I've been waiting to hear your thoughts on it, and I'm glad you loved it. I really did. Do you think it will be the same situation back in 2018 in which a Sony movie won against a Disney sequel, Spider-Verse versus Ralph Breaks the Internet? In this case, K-Pop versus Zootopia 2. Again, I don't know. Because here's the thing, Spider-Man had already had, like, Oscar love before. So, like, Spider-Man was already taken somewhat seriously. And plus, this was also the same year where Black Panther was being nominated for Best Picture. So the Academy was, like, warming up more to superhero films. But still, it's like, I don't know. Like, I just worry about this film not being taken seriously. But yeah. I might get ready to hop off at around 8 p.m. because we've had this has been a pretty damn eventful stream. Like, we've been going at it for nearly 2 hours. So does anyone have any final thoughts before we head out? Again, you guys need to watch K-Pop Demon Hunters. We'll go watch it. It's really good. And if you like original movies, that's the thing. If you like original movies, go watch this. Go watch it, and don't complain when they don't make original movies. Watch this movie. Watch it. Who, as it stands now, will win for Best Actor? I mean, right now, I'm just going to guess Jeremy Allen White, but that's kind of like, I don't know. He's kind of my placeholder number one. But yeah. Now, I will say, I'm probably not going to stream tomorrow. Yeah, because I got my day job tomorrow, but I think maybe Sunday. Yeah, Sunday I might try to do a public stream, and then then we'll do a members only stream after that. So yeah, we're not doing a stream tomorrow, but Sunday I'll try to do a stream then. But yeah. What is your day job? I don't really want to dox myself, but so yeah, I'll just try to keep that. I'll just try to keep that in the back pocket if that's fine. It's sad how I doubted K-Pop Demon Hunters after seeing it, considering I took it out of my hype list. Oh. Oscar Expert has accident in 5th place for international and took it out of picture. Do you agree? I don't. I mean, because here's the thing. I do think if it's getting director, it's going to get picture. And once you lock down 10, like if you lock down Best Picture to 10 nominees, the director nominees just make it into they make it into Best Picture. But yeah, and the thing is, like, I still think it would get. I still think it would get international feature just as long as France. Wait, no, is it France or Germany? I forgot which one it was, but one of them is like helped produce Accident. And as long as one of them, I think maybe it was France. I don't know. As long as they submit it, it'll be fine in international feature. It'll be fine. But yeah, I'm going to get ready to hop off. Oh, France? Okay, so it's France. Okay, yeah, I think France is going to do it. All right. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching this installment of Hannahcast Movie Talk. This series is going off pretty well, I might say. I mean, hell, like yesterday we got a super chat. Today we got $10 on the Ko-Fi. It's doing pretty well. Again, share this video wherever you can. Give it a like, especially give it a like. That'll definitely help the algorithm and stuff. And again, if you haven't already, consider becoming a member on the YouTube channel. You get access to the loyalty badges, members only emojis, members only videos. You get member shoutouts at the end of my videos, which you're about to see here in a bit. Early access to Oscar predictions videos, members only live chats, and also you also get access to the Discord. You also get access to the Hannahcast members only Discord. So again, consider becoming a member or gift memberships. You could do that as well. So yeah, yeah, and it's all for $2 a month. Thank you guys so much for watching, and be sure you hit that subscribe button, because if you don't, the demon hunters are gonna, the K-pop demon hunters are gonna get you.